Daniel Penny dodged the possibility of being convicted on the top count of manslaughter in the second degree after the jury failed to come to a mutual agreement. But Daniel Penny is not completely off the hook. Now, Penny is accused of that subway chokehold death of troubled homeless man Jordan Neely, who was once a subway performer. Now, this drop charge comes after jurors sent 2 notes today saying they could not reach a unanimous decision on the top count. Judge Wiley sent them back to the jury room on an Allen charge, giving them instructions to try and reach a verdict. They tried, and they tried hard, because they sent another note asking to define the term reasonable person. And after getting the definition on that, they again said they could not come to an agreement. The prosecution then requested to drop the top charge of manslaughter in the second degree if the jury could still deliberate on the lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide. Now, the defense opposed this and called for a mistrial, but instead, Judge Wiley granted the prosecution's request to throw out the top charge and sent jurors home early for the day. They will begin to deliberate on criminally negligent homicide on Monday morning. Now, let's bring in Judge George Grasso for some analysis. Judge, the prosecution is the party that brought this charge to begin with, in manslaughter in the second degree, and now they have requested to dismiss that top charge. So what message is this sending? Are they insecure in trying to reach a guilty verdict on that top charge?
I think they absolutely are insecure. I think that they're faced with the reality that they brought upon themselves, bringing charges that they never should have brought to begin with. I think from the beginning, Mr. Penny has been scapegoated for the failings of the criminal justice system, including D.A. Bragg with his now infamous Day 1 memo that, among other things, restrained the NYPD for making quality of life enforcement like fare evasion arrests. And here we have a guy, Mr. Jordan Neely, which is tragic that he passed away, but he had a felony warrant for a plea he took back in February. He punched a woman in the face and smashed her cheekbone. He was out for 2 months. It seems like he was basically living on the subway. If the police would have intervened in ways that I was in 30 years in the NYPD, like we did, for example, when I worked with Commissioner Braden, undoubtedly at some point Jordan Neely would have been arrested. He would have been held accountable for the warrant. He would have been incarcerated and hopefully given psychiatric treatment. He would be alive today. And Mr. Penny, who by every account was acting as a good Samaritan, would not have been facing trial on felony charges.
Now, the defense is calling, they wanted a mistrial. They're now saying that it could be a compromised verdict and that this would coerce the jury into bringing down, a guilty verdict. Do you agree with this?
Well, I understand what they're doing. As a former judge and an attorney, I think it's sound legal practice. They're doing what they're calling is preserving the record in case the jury would have come back with a guilty finding for criminal negligent homicide. However, I think the case is extremely weak, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up deadlocked again on this one and it ends up in a mistrial on criminal negligent homicide. And now the prosecution will be precluded from coming back with, if that happens, with manslaughter in the second degree again, because they dismissed it and they wouldn't be able to bring it back. All around, this is a travesty of justice, this case.
Thank you for your time, Judge Grasso. Now, day 4 of jury deliberations has concluded. The top count being manslaughter in the second degree dismissed by Judge Wiley. He sent the jury home for the weekend, told them to think about something else over the weekend. They will come back on Monday for day 5 of deliberations to consider a verdict on the lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide. We're live outside Manhattan Criminal Court. Michelle Ross, Fox 5 News.